You ever stand on the range and feel the floor tilt under your boots? That's what happened this year at SHOT Show. Everything shifted and nobody left the room the same. In 2025, a hard truth hit home. Shooters aren't swapping guns for fashion. They're trading because old compromises finally have real fixes. Duty shooters, match guys, and everyday carriers all walked away from familiar iron toward pistols that solve problems they'd tolerated for years. This isn't vaporware, it's practical evolution, and it's reshaping what people trust to sit in a holster. Let's start blunt. Modern carry isn't about vanity. It's about controllability, capacity, and a gun that behaves the same under sweat, stress, and repetition. Manufacturers stopped adding polish and started solving recoil, sight acquisition, and concealment without forcing you to mortgage a kidney. Below, I'll strip the hype and show you the pistols actually pulling shooters away from rigs they'd defended for a decade. Number 9, Kick Mite MC9 Prime. Small frame, serious intent. For under $500, this micro compact comes optics ready straight from the crate with a micro red dot pre-installed. No adapter plates, no gunsmithing, just rack and fight. The barrel is compensated to tame muzzle rise. The slide carries aggressive lightning cuts for quicker cycling, and the grip texture actually bites when your palms are slick. With a 17+1 capacity, it brings duty-level rounds to a carry footprint. I know more than one shooter who sold pistols that cost twice as much after a month with the MC9 Prime because it shot flatter and stayed dependable during daily carry abuse. That kind of value is hard to ignore. Number 8, Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 Compact. Smith & Wesson refined a proven platform into something that sits square in that sweet spot between concealability and full-range performance. Chambered in 9mm, it behaves like a compact that grew up. The trigger is cleaner and crisper than earlier models, and the more aggressive grip texture keeps the gun planted through rapid strings. It's optics ready, offers multiple backstraps, and fits most hands without a fight. Agencies have adopted it, competitors run it in stock divisions, and concealed carriers are dropping older single stacks for the extra capacity and shootability. For roughly $600 to $700, you get something that does duty, defense, and the daily range grind without compromise. Number 7, Ruger RXM. On paper, it looks familiar, but the RXM is Ruger betting on modularity. A single fire control unit works with interchangeable frames, slides, and calibers, which means you can adapt the gun as your needs change rather than buy a brand new pistol. Ruger also leaned into parts compatibility. Glock Gen 3 components will often play nicely with the RXM. So tinkerers and competitors who hoard spare parts are smiling. Add an adjustable trigger, extended magazines, and an optics-ready slide, and you've got a platform that evolves with you. At its price point, it performs smoother than many expect, and for a lot of shooters, drop split times were the first sign the switch was worth it. Number 6, Staccato P4. This one isn't polite about it. Staccato took competition pedigree and bolted on the kind of duty toughness most race guns only dream about. Built around the 2011 double-stack architecture, the P4 brings that famous Staccato trigger feel into a package you can trust on patrol or at a critical stage match. It eats Glock magazines, so if you're already buried in spares, congratulations, you've got instant logistics. The grip is redesigned to hold through long strings without shredding your hands. The safety and internal systems are redesigned to be drop-safe and utterly predictable. In plain terms, you get race gun accuracy, duty gun durability, and fewer surprises when the adrenaline spikes. Number 5, Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. Call it what it is, the workhorse that keeps getting refinements. The Gen 5 MOS version is optics ready from the factory, and that matters because every second you spend fitting aftermarket plates is a second you aren't training. The marksman barrel tightens groups. Ambidextrous controls stop lefties from feeling like second-class shooters. The trigger is cleaner than past gens, and the platform's legendary reliability hasn't been sacrificed for features. Officers continue to carry it, competitors still run it in production-style classes, and a lot of concealed carriers trust it when their family depends on them. It's not sexy, it's deadly reliable, and that's why it still sets the baseline. Number 4. Double-stacked 1911 platforms. Tradition met practicality, and neither walked away losing. Shooters who loved the feel and trigger of the 1911 realized they didn't have to accept tiny magazines anymore. Double-stack conversions and factory builds now push into the high teens and 20s for capacity, while keeping the crisp trigger and single-action brake devotees worship. You still get the precision the platform is famous for, but now you spend less time fumbling reloads during matches or worst-case training. Imagine shooting your old favorite with modern capacity and optics. Same sole, new teeth. Number 3. Walther PDP. Ergonomics first. Walther went back to basics and tuned everything around how your hand finds the gun. That translates to faster sight acquisition, a trigger that feels custom straight from the box, and recoil that reads like a conscious, controllable impulse instead of a punishment. Law enforcement and competitive shooters are switching because it reduces the human error in the split-second decisions that matter. The PDP is the kind of gun that makes you shoot better because you stop fighting the tool. Number 2. SIG P365 X Macro. This pistol rewired how people think about micro-compacts. You get duty-level magazine capacity in a frame that still conceals like a micro. Less than an inch in profile, yet it carries 17 rounds in many configurations. Add a compensated barrel option and better sights, and you suddenly have a class of carry pistols that aren't a compromise between capacity and concealment. They're a blend. That trade-off used to be a given. The P365 X Macro erased that line for a lot of shooters. Number 1. Springfield Echelon 4.5 Comp. This is the pistol that made a lot of range rats stop midstring and actually talk about ergonomics like it was religion. Springfield took a concept people only accepted from custom shops and put it on an off-the-shelf chassis. A factory-integrated compensator that vents gases upward and keeps the muzzle from climbing like a stubborn bronco. Chambered in 9mm with a 15+1 capacity, the Echelon 4.5 Comp doesn't just promise controllability, it delivers endurance. Training sessions stretch longer, follow-ups arrive faster, and wrists that used to ache after 200 rounds suddenly behave like they were rigged for marathon drills. What sets it apart isn't a single flashy feature. It's how the parts talk to each other. The slide is cut for most optics on the market, so you don't end up shopping for weird plates. The tritium night sights are usable, not decorative. The grip module fits like something sculpted around your hand, instead of a one-size-fits-all compromise. Put all that together, and you get the feel of a tuned race pistol married to the toughness of a duty sidearm. Guys who ran 300 rounds in a day and swore they'd never touch a compensator walked out grinning like they'd found the secret sauce. Beyond the hardware, the market reaction matters. When a pistol this balanced drops into circulation, it forces shooters to rethink practice habits. People don't just switch guns because a new model looks cool. They switch because their training efficiency improves. Faster split times, smaller group sizes, fewer reloads, and less fatigue translate into better real-world performance. That changes how instructors structure classes, how departments write qualification standards, and how competitive shooters build their rigs. The ripple is practical and immediate. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The 9 guns that made this list aren't random hits. They are answers. Each one confronts a persistent complaint: recoil management, capacity, ergonomics, modularity, or value, and solves it in a way that matters on the range and in a carry rig. The trend line is clear. Manufacturers stopped chasing flash and started answering questions shooters bring in after long days under lights, under stress, and under deadlines. That's why the conversations at matches and on department ranges changed from "I wish" to "I switched." But there's a human element that's easy to miss. Switching guns is rarely just technical, it's emotional. People ditch setups they've trusted for years because they finally feel safer, more confident, or simply less beaten up after training. That confidence shows in your posture, your trigger press, and how you settle on a sight picture under stress. A better tool doesn't replace training, but it amplifies it. And when shooters feel that amplification, they stop debating and start buying. So where does that leave you? Are you carrying comfort over capacity, luck over logistics, tradition over tactical advantage? The answers matter because the next part of this series pulls hard on the threads we've laid out. The legal realities, training implications, and the one controversial gun that's been ripping through the conversation like wildfire. What it does to carry doctrine might surprise you.